I learned while living as a monk was we lost the concept of time because I didn't have to be anything by 25. Or if I would have stayed longer as a monk, it wasn't like by 30, you have to be married and this, right? Like, so when I lived as a monk, there was no timeline because once you're a monk, you're a monk, and there was nothing that you had to do at 30, 40, 50. And obviously I wasn't there for that long, but you could see the 70-year-old monks were doing the same thing that the 25-year-old monks were doing. Like there was no big discrepancy in that. And so you lose the sense of time. How do you think we can all let go of that sense of like, well, by 30, I need to be in a relationship. By 40, I need to be a millionaire. By whatever it may be, right? These timelines that society comes up with, could we all co-create a challenge that helps people lose a sense of time?
It's funny that you bring that up because I think that's something that I really struggle with.
Right.
Like very much so. You know, I thought I was going to be married with kids at 25. And so when that didn't happen, I was like, oh.
You know what? And I want you to share an example that you have told me before because I think it's really good. I think that there's a scripture that I love, and it talks about like content with little, content with much. You know, it talks about being content with whatever circumstance you're in. And I think what's interesting is that we can be like, oh, I just really want to be married. I really want a partner. And then you talk to your married friends and they're like, enjoy your single life, whatever. You talk to people with kids. You're like, I want kids. And they're like, oh, enjoy having no kids. And, you know, I think that each season of life is so beautiful and unique in its own way. And I think when we make a choice to just be happy and grateful for right now, and it's like, okay, I'm single, I don't have kids, I have my freedom, I can pick up and do whatever I want at any time. Like that is a blessing for right now. But Tanya got a direct message from someone. Tell him the story.
Okay,
and everybody the story.
That was beautiful, by the way, Raquelle. That's such I love that. Content with little, content
with much.
With much. Yeah. That's beautiful.
And it is so important to appreciate the season that you're in, because I think I was never shy about the fact that I wanted to be married. I want to have kids, and that's a desire of my heart. So like I would pursue that like I pursued my career. When I tell you I went on probably 200 dates in 7 years, I went on probably more.
Wow.
And I really gave it my all. Like I pursued it just as hard as I pursued my career. And it's funny because I think God did this he purposefully gave me a very long single season, because I would not have pursued my career the way that I did had I been in a romantic relationship. And I know that about myself because I'm all in, you know, like I'm all in on my relationship right now and I love it. It's the best season ever. But had this been 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to build what I did. And so I know like God was like, I see you. I know I'm going to fulfill the desire of your heart. Maybe not in the time that you think. And it's interesting because I got this DM and I had spent the day, I went on like a 9-mile run and I was cleaning out my apartment and I was saging and I was on Instagram and just saying, you know, what I was doing for the day. And I was going through a breakup. So I was heartbroken. I was really sad and I wasn't shy about it. And some woman responded to me and she said, I would give anything to trade lives with you right now. I am currently breastfeeding one baby, potty training another that's peeing all over the floor while I'm making my husband breakfast. I would give anything to be in your situation right now. And here she is with the life that I desire. And she's saying she wants to switch places with me. And so it was such like a direct message from God that like, you're where you're supposed to be. Enjoy this moment. Enjoy the season. It's not going to be like this forever. You know, seasons don't last forever. They are seasons for a reason. And so it was like very timely, that message.
Wow. Yeah.
I guess a challenge could be think about your life today and where you're at and what you're grateful for. So maybe write it down. If I'm single, I have my freedom. I can go to bed when I want. I can go to the store if I want to. I can go meet a friend. If you have kids, think about, you know, things that you're grateful for with your kids, with your husband. And so maybe the challenge is, you know, I'm grateful for this right now instead of focusing on future. I want more of this. I want a better job. I want, you know, partner, boyfriend, husband, kid. Like just think about it's gratitude, right?
Yeah.
And I think gratitude eliminates angst about the future.
But I also think I remember reading this in your first books. It was about not attaching your happiness to like things, to the title or the whatever, you know what I mean? It's like attaching your happiness to this like state of mind and like relationships and that stuff. That is what life is about.
Yeah, no, I love what you're both saying. I think the Freaky Friday moment's really interesting. Like this idea of like switching lives with someone that you think has it all. And if you were able to do that, most of us, you know, maybe would backtrack to some degree, or there'd be some more appreciation for our life, even if, and of course that's different depending on how different those examples are.
But I think also it's different for women because we do have like a biological clock. So there is like that little timeline. And I've been kind of dealing with that a little bit lately. But I think now there's so many resources. There's so much you can do. I know women that are having babies on their own. You know, they couldn't find a partner. And so they're just doing it on their own. And I think it's such a liberating time to be a woman. And so I think all of these things are slowly starting to like become less of a timeline.
Yeah, definitely. And I agree with you. I think that, you know, I think the pressure to do something because of just time, and you're right, as a woman, definitely you experience it far more. And I talk to Radhi about this all the time, and it's such a, it's a challenge, but I like that challenge, Raquelle, of like figuring out what you currently have that you once dreamed of.
Yes.
Like it's almost like, what do you currently have that you really wanted?
Yeah.
Because there was a time, like you're saying, that you will have really pursued the career. Now you have the career and you're pursuing the next thing. And it's like, but what do I have right now that I once really wished for? It could be as small as I get a bit of free time. It could be as big as I have the career I want. It could be as huge as I have the partner and the kids, whatever it is.
Or I can run a mile today.
Yeah, I can run a mile today.
It can be so small.
Exactly.
And one more thing too that I want to say as well, which touches on all of this and helps with it, and is actually the reason that we wrote the book, is that the best advice I could give to anyone is to prioritize your inner life. Because when your inner life is strong, you can handle anything that comes your way. So those seasons where you're like really wishing and hoping for that thing and you don't have it yet, your inner life is what sustains you. When you get the job, when you have the partner that you've always wanted, it humbles you and it fills you with gratitude as opposed to ego and arrogance and everything in between. When your inner life, when your spirit's strong, even in the mundane moments, that's what gives you inspiration, fills you with awe. And so I think just the best life advice for anyone at any age is prioritize your inner life. That will fill you up to be able to handle anything that comes your way.
Absolutely. I have something that I often repeat to myself and others, which is, when things are bad, work hard. But when things are good, work harder.
Yes.
And I mean that on your internal self. Like when things are good externally, it's really easy to forget that actually you're only able to have this amazing external experience because of the inner work that you did like years ago or months ago. And then when things are great, you like stop doing the inner work. And then all of a sudden now you're in a cloudy season, and that, because you didn't do the inner work in the last season, it's not protecting you.